Guys, I think I have a problem. I know it's hard to believe, but that's the truth. And this problem is caused by this very book here. It's written by Walter Isaacson. It's on Leonardo da Vinci's life. And my problem is that I think I developed kind of an obsession with this guy because it was just so great. His life was full of different interests and he achieved so many different things. Come on, look at this. He was an artist. He started out as a painter, but he was at the same time a scientist and an engineer. He was a musician and a theater scenographer. I mean, how can you be so many different things at once in just one single life? I can't stop myself from being fascinated by him. And so I've decided to make a video out of it. And of course I know that we already know many things about him. Everyone's talked about Leonardo's life, especially this year. So I'd like to focus on one particular aspect of his life, which is him being vegetarian.
Wow!
So welcome on my channel for this very first video about Leonardo da Vinci and his life. And yeah, I decided to focus my attention on this particular aspect of his life because I think it will reveal quite a lot about how his mind operates and worked. So let's just jump straight into the content of this video and yeah, let's do it.
Master Splinter, perhaps you'd like to try some pizza. It's marshmallow and pepperoni.
So let's start from the beginning. We do know, as we said, that Leonardo was vegetarian, but we also know that he based his choice on moral principles. He wasn't like for the poorest of his time that he didn't have access to the meat. No, he voluntarily adopted such a lifestyle. But how do we know this? Well, it's quite easy to say because he personally wrote down into his notes many times in different parts. And thanks to the modern technologies, it's great because we can even hear straight from his voice what he had to say about this matter. So let's just go and listen to him. If you are, as you have described yourself, the king of the animals, why do you help other animals only so that they may be able to give you their young in order to gratify your palate or palate? I'm not sure how's that pronounced. Does not nature bring forth enough simple food things to satisfy your hunger? Or if you cannot content yourself with simple things, can you not do so by blending these simple foods together to make an infinite number of compounds? Wow, how great is that? I didn't know that this technology was around until a few moments ago. So I think it's great. And I'm glad it is. But let's go back to Leonardo. I think from his own words it's quite clear for which side he stood for. And even more we know thanks to his friends who described him as a man who preferred to dress in linen rather than using products that came from animals.
Then when the cattle are just right, it's time for them to graduate from Bovine University.
So he was kind of a pioneer of modern activist movement for the animal protection, kind of. And the Vasari biographies also wrote down this legend about Leonardo, that he was used to go to the markets just to buy the birds into their cages to set them free a minute after he bought them. And even if this is a legend, it tells us that he probably loved the animal quite a lot. And moreover, it's important to consider the time that Leonardo lived in. That was like more than 500 years ago, so I'm not quite sure it was that common to see someone around like him. So vegetarianism probably wasn't that spread as it is today, at least not in the Western culture. And we can get an idea for this from a Florentine traveler who lived at the Leonardo time, the same time as Leonardo. And this guy here went far east to the what is today India, and he wrote down in many letters the habits of the population he met. And in one particular note, he wrote down something like this: "Here, people do not feed on anything that has blood, nor will they allow anyone to hurt any living thing, like our Leonardo da Vinci." So it's quite interesting, and it gives us an idea of what was the view of the people around Leonardo at that time. It must have been seen like a very unique and peculiar human being, even at his time. But the main point of this video is not just to describe Leonardo's lifestyle. I think the most interesting part here is trying to understand how he came to such a conclusion, how he came to develop such an uncommon sensibility to animal pain. And again, thanks to his notes, we can literally go inside his mind and understand how it operated. He always started from the observation of nature, and from this observation, he noticed that plants don't seem to have this capability of feeling pain, whilst animals do.
You pull it sharply out of the box!
And from here, he questioned himself, why is that? Why is it that plants don't have this characteristic that animals have? And from here, he tried to find out what were the causes laying behind his observations, and he concluded with a sentence that sounds like this: "Nature has given sensibility to pain to living organisms that have the power of movement, in order to preserve those parts which might be destroyed by movement." He summarized, "Pain is not necessary in plants." I think we can see how great he was. He came to understand that pain is not necessary in plants, because by not moving, you don't put yourself in danger, so you don't need to feel pain. Whilst animals, by their movement, they could hurt themselves, so they need something that stops them to do the wrong actions. And I think this is simply beautiful. And I know that it might sound quite obvious, but I'd like to question yourself, how many times have you stopped wandering around things like these? And I think here we can see how unique this mind was, because this was his mindset. This is what he led him to his masterpieces like the Last Soup and the Mona Lisa. This is why he's so famous, because he was able to put on his canvas such observations he had. And yeah, I think he's simply great. And for today, I think that's enough. I think that'll be good for today's video, and we might see something more about Leonardo in the next videos. I hope I can do some more videos even about many other extraordinary human beings, so we can always understand and track and take something good out of it. I'll invite you to share this video as much as you can. Just please subscribe and do all those things that you normally do on YouTube. Thanks for that, and see you next time then. Oh, just one more thing before you leave. Don't you know that Leonardo DiCaprio was named after Leonardo Da Vinci? I know it sounds incredible, but apparently DiCaprio's parents were visiting Florence while they were expecting their baby, and they were at the Uffizi Museum, standing in front of the Annunciation from Leonardo da Vinci, and the baby kicked out from the mom's tummy, so the parents thought that was like a good sign, and it was liking what he was seeing, and they thought Leonardo was probably the right name for the baby. So, but by the way, are those really Leonardo DiCaprio's parents? Whoa, cool. Alright, that was it. I promise. You can go now. Bye.